Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises and the glory to Yahweh Bashmi Al-Shabbat Shema Rakak Wadash. Double honor to the apostles of Great Millstone and salute to the Akim out there that's pushing this truth in all sincerity, and even unto those that's learning and listening as well. Shalom. It's the brother Mark come. Now, I don't know what I'm going to call this video, but I'm going to just go right on the head. This is Ezekiel 34. Verse 1, and the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, prophesy against the shepherds of Israel. Prophesy and say unto them, Thus saith the Lord power, unto the shepherds, woe be to the shepherds of Israel that do feed themselves. Should not the shepherd feed the flock? Ye eat the fat, and clothe you with the wool, and ye kill them that are fed, but ye feed not the flock. And this is talking about false prophets, because the false prophets, they speak about false visions that the Lord has not revealed unto them, or no one has revealed to them. And by them speaking on false visions or false prophecies or heresies, and let's just deal with the modern day pastors. The modern day pastors of the day, they make most of their money by the poor. They go to these poor churches, and the large majority of our people, they go to these churches just to get away from reality, because the modern day churches are nothing but clubs. All right. And while the pastor's speaking, he's speaking false doctrine and many other things. So this prophecy really applies to them more so than anything else today, because a lot of these false pastors, these pastors are worth millions of dollars, hundreds of millions of dollars as well. So not only are they speaking false doctrine, and plus they've sold their soul, and they're under a 501c3 charter, they're just preaching the gospel to simply feed themselves. And meanwhile, the people that are going to hear the gospel of what they're saying are in need. And really what they're in need of is the truth. Like the scripture says, for my people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge. That's in Baruch 3. For my people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge. So the reason why our people are destroyed is not because they're poor or they're broke. It's really because they don't have the knowledge and understanding. And that's the reason as to why our people are under the curse today. Okay? Because a lot of us came from some kind of church, whether it was the Baptist church, whether it was the Episcopalian church, whether it was the Seventh-day Adventist, whether it was Jehovah Witness, whether you was a Roman Catholic or what have you. So we all came from some kind of church. All right? Some philosophy we were under. But what did the Lord do? The Lord yanked us from out of these churches, out of these false teachers and priests, self-proclaimed, to come into this truth. So I'm going to read this. It says, Ye eat the fat, and ye clothe you with the wool, and ye kill them that are fed, but ye feed not the flock. The diseased have ye not strengthened, neither have ye healed that which was sick, neither have ye bound that which was broken, neither have ye brought again that which was driven away, neither have you sought that which was lost, but with your force and with cruelty have you ruled them. And they were scattered because there is no shepherd. And they became meat to all of the beasts of the field when they were scattered. My sheep wandereth through all of the mountains, and upon every high hill. Yea, my flock was scattered upon all the face of the earth, and none did search or seek after them. And the reason why they became scattered abroad is due to the curses of Deuteronomy, 28 verse 64, because these pastors, these false prophets, misled our people into the wrong way. Okay? And when you, as an Israelite, worship false deities or gods throughout the years, what happens is the Lord then begins to bring us under curses. And the main curses that befell the Israelites is that we got scattered outside of the land. Now we're no longer in the land anymore. That's how bad it's gotten. It's gotten so bad to where we're not even in the land of Israel. All right? You have another group of people that are in the land of Israel today, and they're so-called Jews occupying our land like they are the real Jews, when in fact They're self-styled Jews. Okay? They're not the real Jews. They're what you call Edomites. So let's read verse 6. My sheep wander through all of the mountains and upon every high hill. Yea, my flock was scattered upon all the face of the earth. And none did search to seek after them. In other words, nobody has said that we're the children of Israel. Esau hasn't said it. No pastor that knows the truth have even declared to say that. The Lord had to send teachers after his own heart. Let me get that. We're gonna get. I'm gonna go back to what we in? We in Ezekiel 34, right? So I want to read Isaiah 3 and 15. Isaiah 3 and 15. Now it's Jeremiah 3. Jeremiah 3 and 15. Oh, this is getting on my nerves. Right, this is Jeremiah 3, verse 15. And I will give you pastors according to mine heart, which shall feed you with knowledge and understanding. So that's the true pastors that are going to come on the scene. They're going to be the true shepherds, and they're going to feed the sheep or the lambs the right food. They're going to be nourished upright. So what we're going to do is we're going to go all the way back to Ezekiel 34. And I'm going to read verse 6 again. So it says, my sheep wander through all of the mountains and upon every high hill. Yea, my flock was scattered upon all the face of the earth, and none did search or seek after them. So no one decided to tell these people who they really are. But that's okay, because we were sanctioned to do that job. As I've just read to you in, Jeremiah, the 3rd chapter. Jeremiah 3, verse 15. It says that the Lord will send pastors after his own heart, and they shall feed them with his wisdom and his understanding. And that's exactly what's happening today. Therefore, ye shepherds, hear the word of the Lord. As I live, saith the Lord power, surely because my flock became a prey, and my flock became meat to every beast of the field, because there was no shepherd, and neither did my shepherds search for my flock. So these modern day pastors today, they're not the true shepherds of the Lord. All right, they fed themselves by using the poor of our people, and even the ones of us that were once a part of that elk. All right, going into these churches and stuff like that every single Saturday. We would go to these churches. You know, our mothers would take us to these churches. Our fathers would take us to these churches. Our grandmothers would take us to these churches. All right. But through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Shai, the Lord led us to return to the right teachers so that we can become who we were supposed to become, Israelites. Okay. Neither did my shepherds search for my flock, but the shepherds fed themselves and fed not my flock. Therefore, ye shepherds, hear the word of the Lord. Thus saith the Lord power, Yahweh, behold, I am against the shepherds, and I will require my flock at their hand, and cause them to cease from feeding the flock. Neither shall the shepherd feed themselves any more. For I will deliver my flock from their mouths, that they may not be meat for them. For thus saith the Lord power, behold, I, even I, will both search my sheep and seek them out. And what's happening is since I've read that, what's happening is this truth is getting out so vast, so powerfully, that people are starting to think twice about the Christian church. Okay, because before this truth sprang out, like it's springing out right now, man, them pastors was making the killing. Because that was the only doctrine that was popular, that was more potent throughout the four corners of the earth. Deceiving the children of Israel, because the children of Israel are scattered amongst the four corners of the earth. All right, and everywhere you find that a group of Israelites everywhere you find the Israel group of Israelites at, there's a church. There's a false prophet in the midst, making money off the poor and deceiving his own people. Okay, let me go take it a little bit more deeper. Deceiving the Lord's people. All right, but the Lord woke us up to the truth, and we've become shepherds leading over the sheep, caring for the sheep. All right, which is the nation of Israel, but the elect, of course, and we're feeding them the right food. Okay, and the food is these scriptures. the proper breakdowns, the proper wisdom and understanding of knowing the Lord. That's what we're showing the people. Okay? Verse 12. As a shepherd seeketh out of his flock. Let me read verse 11 again. For thus saith the Lord power, behold, I, even I, will both search my sheep and seek them out, as a shepherd seeketh out of his flock in the day that he is among his sheep that are scattered. So will I seek out my sheep and will deliver them out of all places where they have been scattered in the cloudy and dark day. Verse 13, I will bring them out from the people and gather them from the countries, and I will bring them to their own land and feed upon the mountains of Israel by the rivers and in all of the inhabitants places of the countries. And that's happening right now. And we haven't returned back to our own land as of yet. But what I mean by that is that we've been gathered together by the word of the Lord, the true word, the truth understanding of knowing what the word of the Lord is all about. And therefore we've come back to our heritage at the same time. Okay, and none of the pastors, nobody has come to seek out what's going on with the so-called blacks, so-called Latinos, Native American Indians, and those that be of the speckled bird sect. Okay, no one has found these people out, but through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Shai, he brought this information to us, and we was able to find out who we really are by ourselves. Okay, without these false prophets having to do it. So let's read verse 14. So with that same truth that we have, that same truth is going to lead us to our salvation. And the Lord is going to deliver us from all of the lands that we were scattered abroad in. And we're going to be brought back home. That's in the book of Jeremiah, 16 verse 14. And that explains how miraculous our salvation will be. The whole wide world is going to witness the salvation of Israel. It's funny because the world witnessed the downfall and the enslavement of our people. Now the world is going to witness our miraculous salvation throughout the four corners of the earth. So now we're going to move on. And then that's how we're going to return back to the land of Israel. Verse 14, I will feed them in a good pasture, and upon the high mountains of Israel shall their fold be. And there shall they lie in a good fold, and in a fat pasture shall they feed upon the mountains of Israel. Last verse. I will feed my flock, and I will cause them to lie down, saith the Lord power. And we have been caused to lie down. And what do I mean by that? When you lie down, you're resting, aren't you? So we're at rest. You know, we no longer have to worry about some other information that we forgot. We no longer have to worry about anything else. We have the truth. We know enough till we're comfortable now. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to get Isaiah 28, verse 9. We're going to start with verse 9. It says, whom shall he teach knowledge? And whom shall he make to understand doctrine? Them that are weaned from the milk and drawn from the breast. So what this is speaking about is you're going to have men that are going to come into this truth, and they're going to get the basic understanding of the scriptures. That's the milk. Okay? Certain men are going to be sanctioned or be set up to teach the word so that those can learn of the word and be nourished thereby. But they're going to learn the basic breakdowns of the scriptures. And then when the Lord is dealing with them in the midst of this truth, they're going to grow and they're going to become to adults, and they're going to be able to break down the hard part of the scriptures. All right. Verse 10, it says, for precept must be upon precept, line upon line, here a little and there a little. For with stammering lips and another tongue will he speak to this people, to whom he said, this is the rest, whereof you may cause the weary to rest. And this is the refreshing, yet they would not hear. So that once you come into this truth, you're in a state of being refreshed and at rest. Because we were once weary, looking for the truth, trying to find ourselves. We don't have to find ourselves anymore. We've already found ourselves. Now we're at rest. We were once weary, and now we're at rest now. Okay? So this truth, this information that we have is going to lead us to our literal rest. Because the scripture says that we shall enter into everlasting rest, right? Roughly paraphrasing there. But the scriptures speak about our rest. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to find that scripture. Matter of fact, let me continue to read this. And then I'll get to that scripture. Verse 14 again, I will feed them in a good pasture upon the high mountains of Israel, and shall their fold be. And there shall they lie in a good fold, and in the fat pasture shall they feed upon the mountain of Israel. And I will feed my flock, and I will cause them to lie, saith the Lord power Yahweh. I will seek that which was lost, and bring again that which was driven away. And I will bind up that which was broken, and I will strengthen that which was sick. But I will destroy the fat and the strong, and I will feed them with judgment. In other words, the false prophets that fed themselves but not the flock. All right? And those that were bound up, which was broken, is talking about the children of Israel that were lost. More so the elect that came together, which are now formulating, the third temple. Okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to find that scripture now. That's on my mind, but I can't really memorize it correctly. But I have the other half of it remembered in my head. Enter into rest. Or let me read Hebrews, the 4th chapter. So let's read Hebrews 4 verse 1. Let us therefore fear, lest a promise being left us of entering into his rest, and any of you should seem to come short of it. For unto us was the gospel preached, as well as unto them, but the word preached did not profit them, not being mixed with faith in them that heard it. For we which have believed do enter into rest, as he said, as I have sworn in my wrath, if they shall enter into my rest, although the works were finished from the foundations of the world. For he spake in a certain place of the seventh day on this wise, and the Most High did rest on the seventh day from all his works. And in this place again, if they shall enter into my rest, seeing therefore it remaineth that some must enter therein. And they to whom it was first preached ended not in because of unbelief. So you have men that were taught the rest. In other words, this truth. But they didn't believe it all the way. Why? Because it wasn't mixed with faith. And then you had the others that were taught this belief system, and they had faith in it eventually. And that's what kept these men grounded in the truth today, which are the elect. Verse 7 again. He limited a certain day, saying to David, today after so long a time, as it is said today, if you were to hear his voice, harden not your hearts. For if Yahweh had given them rest, then would he not afterward have spoken of another day? There remaineth therefore a rest of the people of the Most High, the children of Israel. So what is the rest? The rest is when we're going to be not having to experience the curses anymore. We're going to be in the kingdom of heaven doing or living the life that we want to live. We're going to experience being free. Okay? We're not going to be worrying about this or that or wondering for the truth or anything of that nature. Everything is going to be given to us in the kingdom of heaven. We're going to have our own land. We're going to have our own society. We're going to have everything to our under our foot. Okay? We're going to have everything, and everybody's going to be under our jurisdiction. So we're not going to worry. We're not going to have to worry about the nations seeking to enslave us for their own good. And we're going to experience that rest in the kingdom of heaven. All right. So that's all I wanted to bring out, Akim. And with this video, I'm gonna pretty much close this one out, and I say shalom.